What's up, everybody? This is Bitcoin Calvin here. We are here again today live. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day today. I just wanted to uh, come out with this more personal development, topic to you guys today. Um, Pretty much, uh, you know, there's lots of money to be made in the markets right now. Okay, clearly you see, I have a chart right now of a stock called Microvision. They're really, moving. They've been swinging pretty nicely lately for the past few days. Um, I'm not talking about any finances, okay, right now. What I'm talking about now, guys, is more personal development and mindset. So, if you guys want to listen to also my podcasts, I also have my podcast on this YouTube channel, so you guys can go and listen to more of my podcast. Me just explaining sort of my backstory and about myself, about things that I've learned, and continuing to learn and go through in my entrepreneurship journey. Okay. Um, so if you like this content, please give a like and subscribe, but hit the like and subscribe button below, so more and more people just can see more of this content around YouTube, and spread more of this message. Okay, so I know that we are in the COVID-19 pandemic, right? Things are starting to get better. Um, there are people that have gotten vaccinated. There are people that have not gotten vaccinated, right? For various reasons. Everybody has their reasons. Okay. This pandemic has really allowed me to think and really introspect things about my life more. Okay. And I don't mean to bring out this video to be cliche or anything like that. It's brought me to a point of thinking, and being able to feel a lot more. Okay. Um, I feel like a lot of us, even if you're working online, you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your own business, a lot of us, right? Investors, go-getters, hard workers, doesn't matter. We're so worked on chasing the bag, getting the money, getting the money, getting the money. And I love that. I love finance. I love, financial literacy, learning, getting the money, trading, investing, profits, growing, all of that stuff, right? I love that. Okay. But um, I have to take a step back for a lot of the viewers on this channel and for you guys to subscribe to my podcast, right? Which is Cali Speaks Truth, available on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, etc. Okay. I have to take a step back because there's so much money out there to be made. There's so much abundance out there, guys. So don't think that you're taking off of somebody else's plate or anything like that. People are out to cheat you or anything like that, or you're getting cheated and things like that. No, there's abundance out there for everybody. I don't care who you are. You just have to know the right systems and the right things in order to get those results. Okay. You have to first, guys, before even making money. And I started developing a course of kind of a more personal development course tied in a little bit with business back in 2019. And I'm going to say the same thing that I said before. And I even said in 2019 that we're in the digital realm, right? Nobody knew what I was saying. What do you mean digital realm? I mean, people are still outside, well, yeah, we're doing a lot of things in the digital realm online. Okay, guys, a lot of the things that we need, right? We're communicating lots of it online. So lots of things uh, are happening. Okay. And sometimes, you have to be careful. And sometimes you even, like right now, you see I have so many tabs open. If you have this many tabs open in your brain, I want you to close these tabs out, guys. Why? Because there's so much going on that you don't need open right now. Okay, there's so much going on. You don't need all these tabs open, right? So I'm giving you this example and showing you this on my computer. So you can obviously do this, in your real life, right? When you have less tabs open on your computer, it makes things more simple. When you have less tabs open in your brain, it makes things more clear for you to understand, right? But what do you mean by tabs, Calvin? What do you mean by tabs? I mean by things that may have happened to you during the day. So you may be thinking about, oh, I got to pay the bills, I got to pay the water bills, I got to pay the heater, I got to pay the rent, or I just had, fallout with my girlfriend or my lover. I got to do this for this kid. I got to do this for that kid, or I got to pay the tax, or I got to go to the court system, right? I got to bail my brother out of jail, or I got to do this. We have all these things going on, guys. The main topic here, guys, that I wanted to explain and come out to you guys is about mindset and being clear about what exactly do you want, okay? What exactly do you want, okay, in your life, right? In your life, right? And again, I'm still young. I'm in my mid 20s. I'm 25. And I love my life, okay? It's getting better. Um, I always work on it to get better, even though there are lots of things, crazy things happening out there in the world, okay? I tend to stay internal and I'm very much an introvert, right? So if you meet me, I'm not some sort of this guy that is a huge, is going to talk to everybody who's an extrovert, right? I can be like that, but for me, it really drains energy out of me, right? I like to have I like to have deep conversations. I like to conversate, right? I like to have serious conversations that make sense, right? Small talk is cool too. If you meet me on the street, small talk is cool. But if I like having more serious conversations, right? Things that make sense, okay? Um, so tying back this to personal development and business development, guys, before even making money, right? You want to know what you want. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit of what I've gone through and why I say that. Okay. So I'm Calvin. Okay. I grew up here in America. My parents came from different country. My parents came from Haiti. They grew up here, right? A little bit older, right? My dad came here, I think when he was like, I think 20 or 30 something. My mom came here when she was around 16, 17. So they know the culture, the more rooted Haitian culture, right? So they have all these traditional aspects as well too, which is awesome. Um, you know, and I didn't always grow up with a lot of money, okay? I went to uh I went to many schools, right? I've been in public school systems, right? In the good public school systems, right? Not too bad. I went to Catholic schools, right? I got pulled out of there just because it got a little bit expensive, right? And I think my mom didn't really like that, right? Some of the things that they were doing. I've went to in high school. I was luckily enough to be able to get a scholarship to play basketball at a nice high school, right? Called Brimmer and May, right? So, I've seen, and I grew up in the projects, right? So I've had places in my life where I haven't had a lot of money. I'm not saying my situation was terrible, terrible, but again, I've been broke before. I've seen, I've had times where, um, you know, where we didn't have, running appropriate running water, right? Couple of times, not a lot, right? But we always had a place to live, stuff to eat, and I really love my parents for that. So my mom mostly. All right. So I grew up with my mom. And again, I appreciate my dad and I love him, but I didn't grow up with my dad really, right? And so, I always saw my mom, struggle, and I really look up to her like that, struggle and work. It inspired me to work and struggle as well too. Okay, especially being a man, especially being a black man. For me. not working and not doing anything really, I wasn't going to let that happen. Okay. I was just not going to let that happen, guys. Right. So, um, you know, uh, so I've been working ever since I was 13, 14 years old, right? So I worked at Market Basket, I worked at Staples, I worked at the YMCA, I worked at different businesses. So, uh, you know, I've worked at, redemption centers, can redemption centers, right? So, I've had jobs, right, ever since I was 13, 14, right? Over a period of time, I went to high school, I played basketball. I didn't go to college for basketball, although I was pretty good in high school. I got caught up into hanging out with and doing kind of the wrong things, right? So I got into more of the party life, hanging out scene, right? So partying, traveling, trying to smoke, drink, chill all the time, and doing those unhealthy behaviors, right? And that's my fault, right? There's no one else's fault, except for mine, right? I thought it was cool watching Project X, trying to have fun, trying to do this, trying to do that. For you guys that know Project X, that movie was awesome, right? Trying to do and seem cool and do all of those things, right? And then, I got accepted into college, right? So I went into college for a couple of years, okay, and I ended up dropping out, okay, and I ended up dropping out because it did get expensive, okay. I wasn't really keeping up, okay. When I went to college, I kind of had this mindset again, I started to really party and do all this crazy stuff really once I was in high school, right? So you can say probably like sophomore, junior year, but I was I was around people with lots of money, right? So me doing that and me having pretty good grades and still keeping up with sports, and it kind of blended into with the fact, but I know my lifestyle really wasn't as healthy as it could be, right? Again, once you have money and you know you're hanging out with people with money. I didn't really have money, but I was always working, hanging out with people with money, and still always having a good time. It really didn't seem like a big deal until I figured out it was, right? Because I came in with that mindset. From there, I went to college with that mindset. Okay, I'm getting out the house. I don't have to deal with anything. I don't have to answer to, my parents, my mom anymore. I can just do whatever, right? So, I started going reckless again, started partying. It was awesome. Honestly, I wouldn't change anything, honestly. It was an awesome time. I went to college. I had great fun. I met lots of people, a lot of girls, had a lot of fun, did a lot of crazy, great things, right? It was great, right? But during that period of time, I realized that I wasn't taking, my journey and myself seriously, because, I'd always talk, on the phone with my mom and dad, and they'd be like, Cal, so what are you doing this year? What's the deal? Are you getting a medical degree? Are you going there for business? What exactly are you doing? What is your plan? What is your life plan, right? What exactly are you doing? Like I see you, you're trying to do real estate, and you have a BMW, and you have a nice girlfriend, and you're going, you have this watch, and but really, what are you doing? What degree are you doing? What exactly do you want, right? So I had all these things in mind, guys, that I was doing, right? And some of this stuff, guys, I don't even know how I did it, but I ended up doing it, right? So I was doing a lot and it was fun, right? But I wasn't focused, right? That's the thing. I wasn't focused on what I really wanted to do, right? I wanted all these flashy things. I wanted all the nice girls. I wanted, partying and smoking and drinking and living like Wiz Khalifa and looking up to that and do like I wanted all that stuff, right? And I realized that, that stuff is cool, but for how long, right? And it's affecting your health. Like, you're trying to exercise and work out, but you're getting slower. Your pace and your beats not on time. You're not handing in homework on time. You're not really focused, right? You're partying too much. one of these stuff is going to have to give, but you're also working. One of these things are going to have to give, and I knew it, right? So I'm very entrepreneurial. I'm very business minded, right? So I realized this too in college too, about, end of freshman year. Uh, this was when I was saying, you know what, college degrees are not going to really matter anymore. I realized this in college, right? My freshman year, right? I realized this, college degrees are not going to really matter, right? It's going to get to a point where your skills are going to really matter, right? What is a college degree if you don't really have the skills to do the job, right? So I was really, I wouldn't say a visionary, but I really thought, and I was always very entrepreneurial. I always knew I would be an entrepreneur. Always, 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 always. Right. So, I had that mindset, but then I was dealing with my parents and other family members. Man, you got a good degree. You got to finish. Just hold on. Just finish. Just stay focused. Stop doing all this crazy stuff. Right. And it's tough, right? You're at the school. You're alone. You don't have any parental supervision. You don't have no one checking on you. You get to kind of do whatever. As long as you're following the rules and doing what's okay, you do what you got to do. Right. And so, fast forward a couple of years later, I ended dropping out my junior year to just work and make money and, just go into the workforce, right? Quote unquote, go into real life, go into the workforce, and I dropped out, right? And I really started to focus on finance, right? I started, even before then too, in college, I got my real estate license. I started to focus on real estate. I started to focus on finance, trying to get my financial literacy, up and everything like that too. So I really was taking that seriously. Um, but then what happened was, in 2018, I'm like, man, so people are like, I'm working, but I know I can run business. Like I know I can do business, right? So I started an online business back in 2018. Okay. I started an online business. I think I dropped out in 2017, right? I was supposed to graduate in 2018. I dropped out in 2017. I ended up starting that business the end of closer towards the end of 2018, and I made online businesses, right? And I know the first one is called onyour.com, guys. That one, money, money, money was flowing in. Money was flowing. And this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to correlate this as to why you need to know what you want, right? Don't worry about the money, right? The money, I can make money. You got to know, okay, you can make money. You got to know what you want. What exactly do you want, right? And I don't care, even if you graduated too, you're still working a job. You're still not better than anybody. You're still not better, right? You're still not better off. Like you still have to answer to somebody. So listen to what I'm saying. Um, this is very, very important, right? So I'm going to tell you the story, right? So I made the website, and we were hitting sales. So we were selling consumer electronics. And this is the time when the Nintendo Switch, AirPods came out, Nintendo Switch came out. All these consumer electronics were coming out, right? And they were expensive, right? So people were selling them for 400, 350, 300, right? So we came out with onyour.com. I was like, man, and this is the time where I started listening to Gary Vaynerchuk. I got into Gary Vaynerchuk. I always had business mind, so I was like, man, I know business. I know you have to. Nobody's gonna know shit about your business if you're not advertising. So I was like, you know what? Let me learn about advertisements, right? Who's the best advertising agency? Because I've seen a couple, but I've seen people like Neil Patel. I've seen other agencies out there, but I'm like, God, I don't really connect with them. I don't really feel what they're talking about. I don't know. Like I know what they're talking about, but I can't relate. I can't connect to. I don't know anything about freaking landing pages and all this optimization crap. I need to feel something, right? So I looked more into advertising, and I ran across Gary Vaynerchuk, right? So I think God put me in the situation. I ran across Gary Vaynerchuk. I watch his videos, right? And I'm like, man, this guy's a genius, man. And I can relate to this guy because he knows what it is to not come from a lot. And he's a small business guy. Like, I can relate to him because he knows what it is to be on a budget, right? It's not like I wasn't making money, but I was on a budget, right? I don't have a lot. Do I have some money? Of course, but I don't have a lot, right? I always think about how can I do with what I have to make the most of what I can get, right? That's my mentality. And I love that kind of small business mentality and that entrepreneurship side of Gary, right? So I started listening to Gary more and more and more. And then I'm like, man. So I listened to him. One of his talks, he started talking about using, he's like, you know what? If you want people to see what you're doing, you got to be on Facebook, right? You guys know, if you guys know Gary, you guys know Gary. You got to be on Facebook. You got to be on Instagram. You got to be on YouTube. You got to be on Google Ads. I started researching about Google Ads and Bing Ads and YouTube. And I'm like, man, this stuff is awesome. Like, it's crazy. And then I started doing some Google ads. It got a little bit expensive. I'm like, yeah, it's working okay. But what about Facebook, right? So I really got into Facebook, right? So I made the website, and I was always good at, designing and developing websites as well, too. Even just from scratch, just by myself, right? This is without any help, right? And even before Onier.com, I was still doing websites and things of that nature. I was playing around with that too in college too. So so I'm like, man, all right, so I can make a website that's going to be low cost. I can keep things low cost. And then he started talking about Facebook ads. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just try Facebook ads. Let me see what's good, right? So I put a little bit of money into Facebook ads. I think I put like 20 or 40 or $50 in there. I ran the campaign for about like it was towards the end of 2008, so around I think November, December. I ran like the first week or so, first couple of days, websites up. Nobody knows who we are. I create, our Facebook group. I create, we have a LinkedIn, we have Instagram, we're on social media, right? We're a business, but we're online. We're not in stores. I don't have huge markup costs. I'm a college student. I'm a dropout college student. I don't have huge markup costs. I don't have a lot. Okay. So I did that. I made the community, I made the group, and I made the website. I ran the ads, right? And then, after like the first couple days, I started to see massive traffic, massive results, people asking questions. Whoa, how are you selling a Nintendo Switch, right? So when I think about drop shipping, how are you selling a Nintendo Switch for $200, or how are you selling AirPods for only, $80 or $85? Is this real? Like, is this real? Then as the owner, I'm saying, yes, this is exactly real. This is what's happening. We're selling it for this price. You can call our customer support team, and we'll help you out. And I really did have a pretty nice team, virtual team that can help customers out, right? And so I was running a an actual business, or you can say, and it was all online, right? So it was all online, so it was all online. And I loved it, right? So the first couple days, we didn't get a lot of sales. We got a few. I'm like, man, so we're getting a couple sales. Like, this is actually working. Facebook ads is actually working, like Gary is saying. Facebook ads is working, like Gary is saying. So I'm like, man, this stuff is awesome. So I'm like, yo, this is amazing, right? So, then the second week comes, and man, like crazy, more and more sales started coming. We started running more Facebook ads, couple Instagram ads, because Facebook and Instagram were linked. So I'm like, man, okay, so I can connect my Instagram account on the Facebook ads in the back end, right? So started running Instagram ads, saw our ads on Instagram. People were viewing them, right? A couple days later, I'm waking up, like a couple days, week and a half later, I'm waking up in the morning. Mind you guys, I'm waking up in the morning towards the end of 2018. I'm waking up in the morning. I was doing all this on Shopify. Okay, I'm waking up in the morning, right? And I'm seeing numbers like 2,000, 3,000 in the morning in sales. I'm like, yo, are you serious? Why is nobody doing this shit right now? How am I the only one doing this? And I realize I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm the only one doing this right now. So I knew I wasn't the only store doing this. Like, there had to be other stores that were doing this. But this was early, guys. So get me wrong. We're in 2021 now. 2018 was 3 years ago. Okay, so you got to get the time difference right. And this is why I'm saying, guys, you can still kill it now. Okay, you can still kill it now. But let's go back to the story. So pretty much, guys, I started waking up in the morning, and I'm looking at some family members that live in my house, and they're busting their ass working hard for money. I'm sitting here getting sales 2K, 3K in the morning. I'm waking up to 3K. I'm waking up to more than what you're making a month. And I'm sitting there, I'm laughing in bed. I'm just laughing. I'm excited. I'm like, yo, are you serious? We're getting so many orders. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, Facebook ads, Instagram ads are killing it for us right now. And of course, started, fulfilling those orders at a time, fulfilling those orders. You know, we got contacts in our email. Hey, what's good with my order? Some people they've got theirs. Some people got theirs earlier than others. People are like, yo, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Onyour.com. It's amazing, right? It's awesome. And when I realized that, I'm like, man, this is awesome, right? So then, more days go by, and about a week goes by, and I'm getting orders. We're averaging on orders. We're averaging a good probably $5,000-6,000 a day at least. And so the money's coming in, and the money's coming in hard. And so I'm scrambling. I'm moving. I'm like, man, we got so many orders. I got so much money coming in, and I've never had that much money coming in my account, guys. When I tell you guys, in my bank account, I was seeing, it was normal for me to be seeing at that time when I was doing this at Shopify. It was normal for me to be seeing like a good, 50, $60,000 in my bank account, just for orders, and then, some money that I had aside for profit, and so I was like, man, dude, I have so much money right now. Like, we're five figures, heavy five figures deep, right? We're almost hitting six figures, guys. Like, this is crazy, right? So, then I'm like, man, I got so caught up into my own ways. There's things that, I know I need to do it for the business. So I got things for the business running and things structured. Then I'm like, man, I have this profit money. What am I going to do? What do I want to do? I'm just such a young kid. I just dropped out. I just figured out a new thing that I just discovered. What am I going to do? And so this is when I got in over my head. You can ask some of my friends. I started renting Airbnbs. Like, I'm like, man, I'm like, yeah, mom. So I'm gonna be leaving. Like, I need some business space. I can't work. I can't work here. In my house. I can't work here in the house. I need my own business space. That's what I thought in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I need business space. So I started renting out Airbnbs. I went over to Seaport. I went to other places in Mass. I went to East Boston. I went to the North End. I went to South End. I started renting out these big Airbnb places, just staying there, like where the real high top executives live. Like, I remember I rented out a space, I think, Airbnb. It was literally, I think it was Financial District. Man, there's so much money there. Like, you can't walk across the street without seeing, money. There's so much money there, guys. It's freaking crazy, and you can see it, you can sense it, you can smell it. Every time you walk, you're like, shit. You're in a different place, right? So, I stayed at penthouses, big places like huge hot tubs and stuff like that, living like a boss, living like a king. I was Ubering everywhere. I still didn't even have a car. I was Ubering everywhere too. I was like, fuck it, I'll just pay Uber. I'm gonna pay DoorDash. If I need to eat, I'll just order off DoorDash. I got enough money anyways. We got freaking like 20, 30, 40 bands in the bank account anyways. I can give two shits. I'm just gonna rent Airbnb, do DoorDash, whatever. Right. And then this is the time too, guys, where I realized that you could actually buy alcohol online, for with an app called Drizzly. So when I was staying in the financial district, it was crazy. I'm like, man, I just want to go out, have fun. I saw some friends. Yeah, I just want some wine. Like some of my friends were already still in school, so I was kind of like, I was still a little bit there alone, but I was like, man, I have all this money. Like this is kind of crazy. Can we order alcohol online? So, there's this Drizzly app, they recommended to me over there. I was like, word. So I found Drizzly, just it was crazy, guys. But anyways, I was making so much money, guys, and it was awesome. And by the time it was over, right? Because eventually, people got kind of weary, right? We were getting so much money, so many orders, right? People got kind of weary, and so some people started to request chargebacks, right? And once that happens, um, the banks get involved, businesses get involved. They start contacting me. Hey, can you show us proof that you're actually fulfilling orders? And I showed them, right? But there were so many orders coming in. They thought that we weren't doing it, and we were, right? And they're like, you know what? I don't think we can work with you on our platform anymore. So they shut us down. So I'm like, fuck, so you really are going to do this. So you shut us down, right? And then also, guys, I don't know how this works. Like, people online are so weird. They're so like, oh, if you don't do this, I know this person I know this top person at this company. He can shut your whole account down. People are so. This is why sometimes. I hate to say it, but I wish I could meet people in real life and just talk to them face to face and to see what stupid shit nonsense that they're talking about, because we are filling orders so wonderfully, right? And so, apparently, so after that, Shopify, they cut us down, right? And then Facebook, they uh they had to put a pause on our ad account, because of some of the comments that they were seeing. And some lady too, I remember she kept calling. She's like, did you fulfill our order? Did you fulfill our order? If you don't, I'm gonna call like the head of Facebook and have your account shut down. I'm like, who the hell is this lady? How do you know? We're filling our orders. I told you, you need to give us time. And then I guess she went through on it and they shut us down, right? I don't even know her name, but they shut us down. And people have once there's hype around something, a whole community of people start talking, start, trying to see if they can, get leeway and everything like that. So they shut us down Shopify, shut us down with Facebook ads and Instagram ads. So then after that, we were still getting sales, but it wasn't as much, right? So we had to move on to other sources, right? And then me personally, I was making so much profit. I had so much profit, and my lifestyle and the things that I was doing wasn't really compatible with being a serious business owner. I was being a real serious spender and a consumer instead of really producing the right way. Yeah, I made over, $250,000 in sales easily and within like 4 or 5 months. I mean, it was crazy, right? So this is why I'm saying, guys, even if you're making a lot of money, you got to understand that you have to stay disciplined and serious about what you are doing, right? And so, it was a great lesson for me, right? Once we came down, we were able to, they put us down, then I moved over and created another business as well. I started another business, so I still have that one today, and, I was able to really properly structure myself as a business, right? But during that time, I feel like if I was much more serious in hindsight, looking back, if I was much more serious about developing an actual business, of being structured in proper way, I may have not been in the trouble I would have been in then, right? So I could have kept lots more of the profit and income coming in rather just getting shut down, right? And then, after that, uh, after that whole ordeal happened, I ended up I actually ended up, stopped renting Airbnbs because they were getting super expensive. I have to, make cut costs really low, and then I ended up coming back home, started to stay humble again, and starting to rebuild again. This is when I started to get into learning more about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, guys. Guys, if I really knew, and this is what really hit me, was like, man, not too long ago I was making all this money, and if I put some, instead of buying like a Rolex, instead of buying the Airbnbs, instead of buying all this crazy things that I thought I needed and really wanted, if I put that money into something that was serious, something that was gaining a yield like Bitcoin, or Ethereum, and I held on to it, I would be so much better off, right? I would be so much better off. Instead, my mind and my time, I wasn't using it correctly, and I ended up messing up, guys. So this is why I say be very careful, even if you're making money, lots of money now, you're having lots of fun. Have your fun, live your life, but be very cautious, be very wary on how you're spending your time, spending, your money, spending your energy on certain things, because it can collapse in an instant, and you don't know when you're going to make it back. Of course, you're going to make it back, but you don't know how much of a force it could have been if you put that into something serious. And if I put into something more serious, I definitely would have been farther along, right? So this is why I preach, guys. I'm going to come back. This is why I preach. This is connecting to mindset. You need to make sure your mindset is right, right? During that time, I was making tons of money. I was partying. I was living the life, guys. I was drinking. I was partying. I was having fun. I was seeing lots of girls. I was going to clubs. I was spending money. I was spending money on J's. I was going shopping, and again, this was all from profit money while still keeping up orders with the business. But I was thinking consumer and consuming and having fun rather than producing, investing, and being smart, right? So you got to shift that mindset rather than just consuming, and thinking about having fun, into something more serious and thinking more long term, right? So, now that revelation definitely hit me, right? And I believe everything's for a reason. God had me go through that for a reason, right? So, now moving forward, ever since 2019 came, between March and April, I started to really sit down and think and say, man, if I really done this, it could have been better. But I could say I could have done this, I could have done that, I should have done this. I can't really keep thinking about the past. All I can do is move forward and learn from that lesson. And that was a very great life lesson. So that's pretty much what it is, guys. That's what I wanted to come out and tell you guys today. Hopefully you guys, are understanding. Maybe, you have lots of money and you're having fun like I was, right? And you don't really care. You don't think anything's going to happen to your business or investments or whatever. Maybe you don't have lots of money, right? Maybe, and I had to start over, guys, right? So, I had lots of money, then I didn't, right? So that experience is very humbling, right? That experience is very humbling. Having a lot and then coming down to not a lot again is very humbling, and you get very. I was angry at myself. I was angry at the stuff I was doing. And then I really started to get serious. This is when I started to come out with Cali Walks, guys. If you guys know that community, Cali Walks Recipe, it's on Facebook. You can search up the group. I really started, getting into more of kind of life philosophies on, kind of thinking right, doing things in the right way to not end up in that type of situation again, right? Because when you work so hard for something and then it crumbles, crumbles, it really does hurt, guys. You put all this effort and time into something, and then it doesn't work, and it works, but then you were shut down for not being super responsible, right? That really just, it really kind of humbles you to really think, right? So, this is why I say again, guys, get your mindset straight. Figure out, guys, what do you want? What do you want? Even if don't even think about the money, just think about what do you want, for your life, like in your life. Even if you had the money, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want? And again, guys, this is why I preach, investing, business, and trading and stuff like that. We got to stop working hard for money. We got to stop working hard for money. I feel like a lot of us, a lot of Americans nowadays too, and even other countries, were going to work 9 to 5, 6 hour, 8 hour, 10 hour, 12 hour, 15, 16 hour, 20 hour shifts, working hard for money. Then it's taxed and you don't even have a lot. So you need to have money work harder for you, and money will always outwork you, guys. It's just math. It's basic, simple math. You can't outwork math. Money will outwork you, okay? Money will outwork you. Okay, profits, interest, money will outwork you over a period of time. Okay, and so don't think about, oh, I'm going to be working all my life, then retire at 67, then have a hip bone fracture, and then things are over. No, you have to get things situated now. What is the foundation you want, right? You have to get that foundation planted. You have to get that foundation of what you want in your life serious enough to say, you know what, this is exactly what I'm going to do. This is a smart plan to do. This is what we're going to be doing, right? What do you want? Stop working hard for money, right? So, you want to have money work hard for you, right? So, there's examples of, maybe investing in an index fund. Again, this is not financial advice or anything. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for education and entertainment purposes only. But maybe having getting an index fund, more long term, right? Maybe some people have a 401k or an IRA, right? I don't suggest those vehicles, but some people do, right? Park their money long term. Some people use the savings account, right, in the bank. Right. Some people, they want to invest in Bitcoin. That's a little bit more volatile, right? They want to have their money in some sort of store of value, right? Bitcoin, great, great, great. I wish I learned about Bitcoin in 2017, 2018, right? Or some other cryptocurrency, right? Some people, they want to hold their money into things like gold and silver, right? That could be your play too. Right. Some people want to tie their money into real estate, right? People want to grow their money. More and more people are looking to grow their money, guys. So it's very, very important for you to be able to do that, right? And it's very important to not only just do it, but to watch it, to learn about it. Every day, learn about it, learning about it. Don't just do things once and then say, okay, Calvin told me to do Bitcoin. He showed me how to set up Coinbase. So I have Bitcoin and then I'm done. And so, I'm just done. I'm just going to watch soap operas and it's finished. No, guys, this is not how this goes. You have to consistently be looking and educating yourself on a daily basis on what you're doing, guys. Okay, on a daily basis, right? So, also, guys, a key thing about this too, another concept to know is to work on your own development and don't compare yourself to other people. Okay, and a very good trading coach told me this too. I forget her name. I think her name was Jessica or something like that. She was an awesome, awesome trader, right? She taught me technical analysis, right? Really, and market structure and technical analysis and really trading. When I was first beginning, she said, you know what? Uh, don't compare yourself to another person's growth. Never compare yourself to what another person is doing because you don't know what they've been through or went through to get that. And it's 100% true, guys. You cannot compare yourself to someone who's doing better, right? You cannot do that, guys, right? It's just not it's not healthy. It's not healthy for you. And what you end up doing is you're going to get frustrated. You're going to get really frustrated really fast. If you keep comparing yourself to somebody that's out trading you or out investing you or has more money than you have to work on your own growth and development, right? You have to become a better person the next day and the next day and the next day or the next week and the next month and the next year. That's the only way you're going to get better, right? Not comparing yourself. Now, it's okay to look, it's okay to see, it's okay to ask questions, right? If someone's doing better than you want to learn information, right? You want to learn information, right? But the thing about it is you don't want to never compare yourself to somebody at that given moment of time. And I had a friend that was doing that, um, he was asking me, Calvin, so what are you doing here, man? So what do you think about this? And so, if I'm doing this, how come, you're not doing it? Or if you're doing that, how come I can't? I'm like, man, dude, you don't want to compare yourself to my successes and what I've done. You want to do things that is good for you. You want to develop yourself in your own light, right? And in your own time because I may I may have learning I may have a better learning curve than you have. I may be able to absorb, and I'm a fast learner. So you may not be a fast learner. That's okay. That you never want to compare yourself, right? Because I may pick up on numbers and math and finance pretty quickly, right? Uh, but maybe you don't. Maybe you have to understand the concepts and have it break it down a little bit more. And that might take you, a couple more weeks than me, right? Who just got in the markets, who started trading, who's making money, who's profiting, right? Because I know the concepts, I know it, and because I've been studying it for longer, right? Or because my learning curve is just better, right? Or because I understand things a lot quicker, right? So you never really want to compare yourself over to somebody else, right? You really want to take your time and really grow, guys, too, guys. Especially if we're early in our 20s, you're still 30s or 40s, guys. You have time. Like nobody's gonna die until closer to 100 or even past 100, guys. We have time. So, really stay patient. Really try to understand. This is the thing too, and this is the thing I realized too, even when I'm reading too, I really understand like, okay, yes, I'm able to finish books pretty fast, but I really want to understand what somebody's saying. So sometimes I'll even go slow. Sometimes I'll even reread what I was reading too. Like, I want to really understand what you're saying. I really want to understand the process, the information, so I can go in it at my own pace and grow at my own time, right? And so that's what you want to do, guys. You always want to grow. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Worry about your own growth, right? So take things step by step, guys. Very, very important. So that's pretty much what it is, guys. That is the mindset video. That is the mindset, topic I wanted to come out to you guys today. Instead of focusing on finance, really focus on your mindset first, guys. Focus on your growth. Focus on what's going to be great for you, right? Focus on uh, what's going to help you and get better, right? What's going to help you like overall, right? Maybe you need to scrub out more of kind of the bad things that you've been doing before, right? Maybe you need to go through something, uh, you know, you know, maybe you need to go out and exercise more, right? You need to just get your mindset uh, you need to get that developed first. I feel like, and I truly believe before really venturing out into trying to be and trying to make tons of money, right? Because if think about it, guys, if you go out before you're really ready to really learn about what you're trying to learn about, you're not going to be ready. Like, say if I really sat the time down to really figure out more of my purpose and what I'm trying to do and figure out what I want, right? Like, before creating onyour.com in the business example that I shared with you guys and what happened in 20 or late 2018. Like if I figured out and knew, I probably wouldn't have lost it, right? But if you don't figure out and know, if you don't, make those necessary steps of developing your mindset in yourself, you jump in the ring prematurely, you're gonna lose. You're most likely gonna lose. And so that is the key, and that is the concept that I wanted to give to you guys today. Okay, so yeah, life is a journey, guys. We're not perfect, but that is what I wanted to give to you guys today. All right, so hopefully you guys are having a great day. I'll see you guys soon, guys. Take a look at my podcast, Callie Speaks Truth. You'll be able to, listen to more of what I say about that too. All right, so see you guys soon in the next one. All right, peace out.